Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadow Wraith, and today I'm going to be talking about Death Guard again. Okay? Now, we've got all the previews that we're going to get for this week. All 5 in total. Now, I covered the first couple, but I thought I'd hang on and see what happens from there. And a lot has happened. Whether you like it or not, this is what it is. And I don't know how to take it. So I'll quickly go over them one by one and then give my summary at the end of what I think might happen. But of course, take this all with a pinch of salt. We don't know what's going to happen with the Codex. Anything could combine with anything. Warlord traits are still to be determined. Contagion, discipline, other things like that. So don't instantly think, oh, Death Guard are trash now, or oh, they're going to be OP. You never know. You never know. So we've got Inexorable Advance, right? So basically, units count as having remained stationary if it did not fall back or advance in your previous move phase. If this unit is a vehicle, it doesn't suffer the penalty for firing heavy weapons in engagement range of a target. And if it has the infantry keyword, it can ignore any or all modifiers to its move, advance, and charge rolls. That's fantastic, which means you can charge through difficult terrain. You're ignoring the Custodes tangle wire thing, so minus d6 to your charge range. Grav drones for Tau, amazing. Malicious volley, right? Absolute fantastic. We had our Blight Lord Terminators, they already had a thing like this, but basically you can fire rapid fire weapons, so you can double fire them. If the shooting model is within half range as normal, if the infantry has remained stationary in your previous movement phase, and it does connect with Inexorable Advance, so just don't advance or fall back, and you're good. And if you're a Terminator, so your Terminator is always going to get it. That's not bad. I like that. So you're going to be trudging forward, firing as you go. I like that. I like that quite a lot. Especially for the Blight Lord Terminators, that's no change. But your Plague Marines are going to be firing 2 shots apiece as they move up if you've got the bolt guns, because it only works on bolt weapons. Just so you know. So no plasma weapons, nothing like that. So it's a little bit of a nerf for plasma guns. Then we've got Deadly Pathogens. So we don't know what the other ones are, but the one we have got is Vicious Death, sorry. So each time you roll to determine the number of attacks made by this weapon, you can re-roll the result. So that's going to be going to Plague Spear or things like that. It doesn't say ranged weapon, but how many have random amounts of attack apart from like a flail? So maybe this gives a hint of what our HQs can take in the future. Obviously, we've got the Lord of Vigilance, who's got his twin Plague Spewer, so it's basically a Plague Spewer, but you throw 2d6, so it's quite a good stick on him, as I say. And we know for a fact now that his Spewer is 12-inch range, as are all Spewers. It's Strength 5, minus 1 AP, but only 1 damage, and it's a Plague weapon. And they auto hit, because it's basically a Flamer. And we know also Plague weapons are going to remain at rerolling 1s to wound. So this is good. This is very, very good. I like that a lot. Now, I am flicking through all the different things. Okay. Now we've got Remorseless. Remorseless is not bad. It's okay. I don't see it being amazing or a game changer at all. But each time a combat attrition test is taken for this unit, ignore any and all modifiers. Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we're going to get it on our Terminators, which are good because they're going up to 3 wounds. Yeah. Awesome. And now the horrible one. Okay, the one that everyone has been waiting for. Disgustingly resilient. Okay. This was the make or break for me a little bit. I loved the 5-up roll. But if they didn't nail this or get it somewhat good, it could have broken the faction for me. Okay, I didn't think it needed changing. Anyone who said it slowed down the game doesn't know how to roll Disgustingly Resilient correctly. So 2 damage weapons, sure you have to roll individually, but you literally, if they fired 8 shots with overcharged plasma guns for say, and they wounded you 5 times, just roll 5 of them, okay, and then re-roll any successes, and that Plague Marine dies unless he passes both rolls. So the first initial roll and then the re-roll. Very quick, very simple. Obviously 3 damage weapons, you roll it 3 times. But the amount of shots, you're not going to get to the point where you're rolling like 8 d6 result damages. Okay, Not really. I mean, you could, but not likely. So, Disgusting Resilient is now not a 5-up, feel no pain. It is each time an attack is allocated to a model in this unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. So, first thing I thought, mortal wounds, we don't ignore them. That is a massive debuff, absolutely humongous. Okay, a lot of things, Flames of Zinch, psychic powers, a lot of things do mortal wounds. So, massive debuff. You want to kill Death Guard, deal mortal wounds. That's not good. But it's also fantastic against plasma guns. Okay, if they overcharge, they now need you auto pass it. So you auto pass 1 Disgustingly Resilient pretty much. Okay, so they'll only do 1 damage to you rather than 2. When it gets to 3 damage weapons, it's not too bad because statistically it's pretty much you're going to pass a third of them, which is statistically right on a 5+ roll. And anything higher than that, it's going to hurt, okay? Because you're only going to ignore 1 of the damage. If you're taking like 6 damage, you're going to ignore 1. So, yeah, not great. Not great at all. Not for our tanks anyway. As much as Games Workshop is trying to say it's going to be fantastic for our vehicles, it's absolutely terrible for our vehicles because you're going to be firing anti-tank weapons at your vehicles anyway. The fact that you can ignore 1 instead of multiple of them is absolutely a massive debuff. But before I talk about that, and more on that, I'll go to the last thing we got, which is, of course, Contagions of Nurgle. Contagions of Nurgle. For every unit in your army, if every unit in your army has Death Guard keyword, excluding unaligned units, this unit gains the following ability. Nurgle's Gift. When an enemy unit is within the contagion range of this unit, and you reference the chart, subtract 1 from the toughness characteristic of this model to the enemy unit. I love that. That reminds me very much of rad grenades in 30k. I love that idea that we're making them weak just by being near us. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So the chart is, it goes off battle round numbers. So for 1, it's 1 inch range, absolutely dire, so you want to be you will be in close combat. Battle round 2 is 3 inches, still dire. Battle round 3 is 6 inches, now we're getting somewhere, and then 4+ is 9 inches. Very nice, okay? Very, very nice, and I'll tell you in a minute why. And of course, we've got our lovely scenery piece, the Miasmic Malignifier, okay? Which you can now set up within 12 inches of your opponent, and it always counts as being in the 4th battle round for determining the Contagions of Nurgle ability, so it's always got a 9 inch aura around it. I don't know if this model's worth it at all, because it's other rule, which is gives you cover or something like that. Literally, it was so insignificant, I didn't really look at it, because you can just destroy it. I can set it up 12 inches away from my enemy, it just means my enemy will charge it to first turn, and destroy it probably. Very nice, thank you. Now, onto the Contagions of Nurgle. One of the big buffs we got was Bubonic Axes. They give you +2 strength, right? So you've got your Light Lord Terminators, Bubonic Axes, okay? And we don't know if they've got Hateful Assault or anything like that, but we know Plague Marine's got an extra attack. So I'm assuming other things will as well. Well, I shouldn't assume, but hopefully they will. Even if they don't. You get into combat with Space Marines, even in turn 1, if that ever happens. It won't, but whatever. You're now Strength 6, and they will be Toughness 3, which means you're wounding them on 2s. And if they've got the Plague Weapon ability, which they should do, because we know Plague Weapons are a thing, and a Bubonic Axe should be a Plague Weapon, you're also rerolling 1s. That is massive. You go against Guardsmen, and they're in range of any of these abilities, or one of your units, and you fire at them with your Relentless Advance bolt guns from your Plague Marines, but you've got like a drone near a unit of Guardsmen, you're now wounding them on 2s with your bolt guns, because they're toughness 2 now, which is a big deal. A very big deal. Okay, you will shred through them quite nicely. I love that. Okay. As for the Disgusting Resilience, it's not an army breaker for me. I don't like it that much, I'm going to be honest with you, but the way I see it is we're still pretty tough, because we've got our 2 wound Space Marines. Now, to one-shot your Plague Marine, sorry, can't believe I said Space Marine, they're going to need to throw 3 damage at them. Okay? Or fire small arms fire. Okay? Small arms fire, I'm not too worried about, because we're talking about las guns and bolt guns and things like that. Sure, heavy bolters, whatever, but the majority of mass fire at damage 1 is not going to hurt you too badly, because you're quite high toughness. Plus, they have to get through your 3+ armor save if it's las guns or bolt guns. If it's a -1 to the AP, sure, you've got 4 up save, so you still got a good chance. But if you stick your Marines in cover, you've got a good chance of struggling this off. The only thing that is very scary is the Punisher Gatling Cannon, which is 40 shots if it does its remain double tap thing. And that could hurt because we don't have a discussing resilience on it. But again, it's wounding us on 4s, and we still got 3 up save against it, or 2 up for Terminators. Okay? But not being able to supercharge your plasma and guarantee killing a Marine if you get a wound through, because even with discussing resilient, you had to pass both of them with the 1 wound profile, or with the 2 wounds you still have to roll a 5 up on 2 dice to keep them alive on 1 wound. This guarantees you're going to keep them alive on 1 wound, along with a lot of other damage 2 weapons, which are very prominent in most armies, especially with the nerfs on, well, not nerfs, but ignoring the D3s and stuff like that, because they've now made a lot of things flat 2 damage rather than D3, which is a good choice. I think it will speed up the game, which is what they're aiming for, which is one of the reasons why they got rid of Disgusting Resilient, I guess. It wasn't overpowered, let's be honest, come on. Maybe getting it to a 4 up, rerolling 1s and 2s, that was a bit strong, but a 5 up was not that big. Yeah. Moving on, we've got Terminators, okay? 3 wound Terminators. You're going to be firing anti-tank weapons to take out these Terminators, to guarantee taking down 1 with 1 shot. And they don't have many shots to begin with, most of them. So we're firing like, you know, melters. You're going to need a melter to get rid of one of these guys, because they're D3 damage plus 3. So the minimum you're going to roll is a 4. So that'll take 1 out. You don't want to be wasting your melters on just Terminators. Plasma guns, you're going to have to waste 3 of them into him. Okay? Which is much better than wasting 2. Or just 1 as it was before, without the extra wound. Yeah. So if you think of it that way, it's not that bad. Autocannons become a lot less useful against you with a 2 damage. There's a lot of things. Power fists in close combat are only doing 1 damage against you. It's not that bad. The thing it hurts the most is things like Mortarion, where they're going to be firing big guns anyway. Your tanks, things like that. Okay? So, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? How do you think Death Guard are going to be in the future? I'm holding my breath. I'm not overly confident we're going to stay high up, if we were high up in your opinion, but I'm not getting rid of my Death Guard. I love them. I'm going to play them. When I pick an army, I don't pick them because they're OP. I pick them because I love the lore, I love the models, and I love how they play. So the only time I might consider moving on from an army is if I'm not enjoying myself when I'm playing games. And looking at these rules, I can't see myself not enjoying moving forward, rapid firing, and debuffing everyone with -1 to their toughness, as well as ignoring some wounds. Not all, or not as many as I potentially could have with Disgusting Resilient as it was, but I'm still being a pain in the backside because they can't one-tap my Plague Marine with their overcharged plasmas or auto cannons or insert 2 damage weapons. One more thing, if you do get into combat with, say, a Knight or something that's toughness 8, you're going to debuff it -1 to become toughness 7, so you're now winning on 5s rather than 6s. That's pretty big. So yeah, anyway, if you like the video, do consider liking, and if you are feeling especially saintly today, do think about subscribing. But even if you don't do either of those things, I still hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello again. If you're interested in supporting my channel and myself to giving you bigger and better content, such as competitive battle reports in the future, then do consider joining up to my Patreon. The link is down in the description below, and you will be mentioned on my videos at the end. Some of you may get a sexy t-shirt. Thank you ever so much, and goodbye.